This is my 2008 N70 Toyota Hilux, and I'm going to be doing a quick respray on it. I've owned my Hilux for the past 7 years. It has been the best car I've ever owned, super reliable. I've gone on countless four-wheel driving trips across the state in this thing, and it has never let me down. It is currently about to tick over 360,000 Ks, and a couple of things on the body are just looking a bit worse for wear, so that's why I'm making this video and giving it a little freshen up by a closed door respray. I'm gonna drop a before pic of when I first bought the car and give you a little walk around, show you the areas that I'm gonna fix on the car, and show you everything that I've changed on it over the years. So let's go. Going to start with the bull bar. I had this painted and fitted this with myself with the spotties. Bonnet scoop is starting to peel. A rust starting to form under the headlights on both sides. If you know your N70s, you can tell, probably by that picture, that the front end is completely different. And that is because this is the upgraded model front end. I bought all the parts secondhand. It's just a matter of changing your fenders, bonnets, headlights, grille, and bumper if you have one. Main thing for doing it was because I liked the bigger scoop, I like the bigger headlights, taller grille, just made it look a lot better. One of the downsides of buying secondhand panels is you could end up with a bit of damage. I brush touched this when I fitted it. I got 4 new flares for the whole car because the wheels have been causing some damage. You can see the fronts have been pretty well destroyed. Wheels and tyres I've fitted are Toyo all-terrains, 285/75s on a 16-inch rim. I love these steelies. The front end has a 3-inch Dobinson's lift. I haven't fitted any control arms because I'm really happy with the way this thing drives at the moment. It's super nice. It's also got a diff drop and a very subtle chassis mount shot. On this driver's door edge, you can see there's a lot of paint missing. I've done a fair few brush touches on it over the years, but it's a bit of a no-hope now. This is a sports bar off a facelift N70. I had powder-coated satin black and fitted a tonneau cover. Inside the tub, I proof-coated it all. I fitted a fridge slide. This is a power that goes to a dual battery system that is under the bonnet. There is a nice big dent in this tailgate where a pole jumped out at me. These are the rear flares I was talking about. They're all cracking along the edge. They've just had enough. While I was working on the Falcon, I had the Hilux sitting outside in the sun, and all the belt molds are now gone. So I'll be replacing all 4 of them. Got some lovely car park dents that have happened over the years. Just a couple of little ones over the car. And this fender over the headlight, that's probably the worst one. I feel like when you start a respray, you want to have a goal in what you want to achieve. And with me, because I still want to take the Hilux off-road, full driving camping trips, I want to keep this short, keep this simple, and only really focus on the areas that I pointed out to give the Hilux the freshen up it deserves. So, on that note, let's get stuck in. As I was cleaning the Toyota decal off the tailgate, I noticed there was a lot of hidden damage behind it. I spent this week at work trying to source out a new tailgate or a second-hand one. A new one goes for over 700 bucks, and the second-hand ones, I couldn't find one in decent enough condition. So decided to bite the bullet and repair this one. My aim today is to get the tailgate fixed, and I'd like to get both sides of the cars done. To start off with, I'm going to circle all the dents and damage I'd like to do with a whiteboard marker. Let's get stuck in. As you can see here, I have now gone around the whole car and circled all the dents that I'm going to repair. On the two fenders, however, I've marked areas as block, and that is because I'm going to put a bit of 120 grit on my sanding block and try and block out a ripple that's occurred through the fenders. When I got to the passenger side fender, I encountered an old repair. So my plan is to try and block out that old repair as much as possible and keep it as flat as possible before reskimming. The way that I'll be going about it is the majority of the dents over the car, I'm going to hit it with a bit of 180 grit on a whizzer. Anything that I find old repairs behind, like old filler, like the fender on the other side of the car, for example, I'll try and block it with a 120 or a 180. So when it comes to sanding the filler, I'll be taking the top off with 120 grit and then finishing it off in 180 grit. The 180 gives it a nice smooth finish and makes it a lot easier to prep and prime. Just like that, one half the car done. Nice quick, nice and easy. Well, actually, everything except for around this headlight. right hand side of the car all done. I had Luna inspect it, but I think that's enough procrastinating. It's time to get on with this tailgate. This here is called the Stinger, and I'm going to be using it to get out some of these sharper dents. Before I get the Stinger out of the box, I need to bare metal my dented areas, because the Stinger works by welding a little metal stud onto the panel of the car. Once the stud is welded onto the panel of the car, you then screw a slide hammer onto it and begin pulling the dent out. My poor air compressor couldn't quite keep up with the sander, so I had to block most of the paint off the tailgate, but finally got it done and get some filler in it now. Tailgate repair is all done. It is all finished. I'm so glad that's over. Thankfully, that is the biggest repair that I have to do on the Hilux. All I got left now are the 2 fender repairs that are around the headlights, and then I can start working towards prepping and priming and getting it closer to paint. Let's go. I finished up the repairs on the fenders of both sides of the car. My plan was to drive the car to work for the remainder of this week, why I've got primer on all my repair areas, but I feel a bit embarrassed driving the car while it's in this state, and I ended up taking off the flares and doing a little bit of repair behind the flares where they've been rubbing on the fenders. What I'm going to do now instead is finish off by pulling the whole car apart before I get stuck into prepping the car for primer. What I might do now is do a little bit of a tutorial on how to pull these doors apart. This era of Toyota definitely has the easiest door handles to remove. What I'm going to do is I'll show you the front door first. what we need to do is remove this little cap right here. Once the black plug is removed, behind it you will see a T20 Torx head. Now what we're going to do is loosen the Torx head, and it will loosen this cap. That removed, all you want to do is grab the door handle, open it slightly, and then slide it towards you. And that's it. Time for the rear door. As you can see, it's a little bit trickier because it doesn't have that black cap. So what we need to do first is remove this door trim. We've got one screw up here behind the handle, one screw down here, and one clip. Next step, you want to peel the inner plastic away. You want to unplug the central locking. And what we're going to do is, with our T30 Torx bit, is loosen off these 3 screws. With those 3 Torx bits out, you want to reach in there and pull the latch down. With the latch pulled down, if you look through the hole, in there you can see a T30 Torx bit. Yellow plastic bit coming off the back of the handle, that is actually what slides into your latch and allows the handle to open the door. Same principle as the front. You loosen the Torx bit and you wiggle the cap. With the cap loose, it's the same as the front door. You slide the handle back and out. That's it, easy as that. And what you'll find is most Toyotas, they've changed a little bit over the years, but fundamentally, they're all pretty well the same. Super easy to work on. One of the best parts of these cars is that you don't actually have to take the front door trims off to take the front door handles out, but you will need to take the door trims off in order to take the mirrors off. So here I am, removing the door trim. Here are my nasty belt molds, and what I'm about to use here is called a belt mold remover tool. It hooks under the lip of the belt mold, in behind the door skin. You roll it towards you and lift the belt mold up and off the car. Once I've removed them off the car, they're going straight in the bin. And that's it, 2 doors done, and it's on to the next side. It's now time to prep the Hilux for primer. What I'm going to do first is run a block with a bit of 180 grit over all my repair areas, just mainly to get rid of the 1K primer, and then I'll be using an air sander, a whizzer, with what this is called an interface pad or a soft pad. That'll go on the whizzer like that, and a bit of 320 grit, like so, and some red scotchy, just to take the shine away from the paint and help the primer stick. Let's get stuck in. to be wrapping up this part here because my primer prep on the Hilux is now all done. I'm really happy with the progress I've made so far and the outcome of what I've achieved. In the next part, I'm going to start masking the car up, priming it, which is a much more exciting part, and then I'll begin prepping it towards paint. Things are moving pretty quickly, and I'll see you guys in the next one.